First up is stopping small boat crossings, the #1 priority for the country. More than 2,000 illegal migrants have arrived on small boats already this year, with 290 crossing the channel on Sunday alone. Recent polling shows 38% of Brits say immigration is one of the top 3 most important issues facing the country. Do you agree? Or are you more concerned with things like the NHS or the economy? Then, is it right to hike the price of cigarettes to £16 a packet? The Chancellor may do just that. At next week's budget, he's apparently considering increasing tobacco duty further in a bid to claw back cash and cut down on smoking. Is it time the government stopped waging war on smokers? Are you a smoker? Or do you say no? Put it to 20 and let's smoke them out. Then is it okay to let yourself go in marriage? Scientists have revealed men start piling on the pounds within 5 years of tying the knot. One of the experts said the phenomenon was happy fat, but there's no evidence of a similar trend in women. It's men. This is down to us, Kevin, okay? So are you or your spouse guilty of letting yourself go? Is it your hubby who's done it and you don't want to say anything? Then a look at some of the stories in the papers and online, including the latest on the Lee Anderson row. At 11:15, the conversation continues with Matt Allwright standing in for Storm. 12:45, Alexis Conran and friends talking high-tech scams and how to keep our money safe. So, plenty to get through. We'd love to hear from you. We have the help of a wind tunnel, a natural wind tunnel to show us here. Blown away by the show? Call us now. Like that? Okay, so can you tell us, sir, the number? Thank you. The number is 020 7862 2222, and his mate will chip in and remind us. No, stop it. 16p per minute from a landline. This guy's having too much fun. Mobiles may be dearer. We have to say that. And then we got the socials. So don't forget social media. And we have X, which used to be Twitter, the sewer. Then I'm on Instagram, I'm enjoying it actually. It's really nice and friendly. I did one this morning for makeup. Threads, the Facebook, and then he's going to do the thing with the glasses. We're on TikTok, aren't we? Yes, there we are. And it's really good. And the other thing actually is that we have a YouTube channel. So if you type Jeremy Vine on 5 when you're online, either on socials or on YouTube, you can find our greatest hits on YouTube. Our greatest hits are on YouTube. How about that? Now, Rebecca, you first.
Yes.
Since I last saw you in person, obviously I am on the socials a bit, and I saw that you had a health crisis, which you tweeted about.
Yeah, so it's my first day back, so I've had 6 weeks off.
Wow.
But yeah, we are still trying to truly uncover everything, but I've had 2 new diagnoses, one of endometriosis and the other of, I can't even say it, and I'm learning what it's all about, adenomyosis.
Adenosis?
That's the one. It's another version of endometriosis.
Okay, because I know that when I read, I feel slightly relieved hearing what you say, because I know you were worried about cancer initially.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been incredibly lucky that my GP has referred me for tests straight away, seen me every single day, which is a bit of a miracle in this climate. And so the consultants that I've seen referred me as a bowel cancer suspected case, and so that's why a lot of the tests got done very quickly, and it was a concern for a while, but it's absolutely not showing any signs of being that, thank goodness. And
endometriosis is it the lining of the womb comes away a bit? Is there a treatment for that?
Yeah, so it can go to other places. So my main issue is around sort of my bowels and my stomach, and it blows up until I eventually pass out with the pain, sickness every day. But yeah, that is it. The other one is a little bit more different, so that's where the lining of your womb is basically growing into your muscle wall.
Right.
So it's fun. But I'm feeling okay now, so keep your fingers crossed.
Okay. So you're back and looking and
it is, and you look really well, and I was worried for you. So I know you're on a bit of a battle there, but not cancer is a good thing, right? Yeah. I wanted to. I don't know if there's a connection in any way with what Kate, Princess of Wales, is going through. We don't know what she's going through, but it keeps coming up, doesn't it? That she's having a long recovery in hospital.
Yeah, quite a long time in hospital.
She's come out, I think, now. But
you hear things, but you don't know if they're true.
Yeah.
And the royal family have not said anything because of a privacy. It's rather like we don't know what Charles's cancer is or what stage it is.
And we don't need to wonder. I just hope she's okay and getting better. That's all. We know it's an abdominal thing. Yeah.
Wish them a full and speedy recovery.
But the Royals did say yesterday she's on the mend, so they put something out. So that's good to hear. But your paper there's a whole lot of royal stuff going on. The front page is reflecting the fact that William wasn't at a memorial service, but also that then Andrew, let's have a look at this, it's Andrew who leads them out.
I know.
What does he do? So here he is. So he's just taken pole position, has he?
Yeah, look, he seized his chance. His elder brother Charles, isn't he? Gone for treatment. It's a mystery why William pulled out with 45 minutes to go when he was due to take part in the service, and they haven't said it's a personal issue. I mean, what? Did he have a problem with the toilet overflowing, needed to stay in for a plumber? Was he getting a delivery of a new washing machine? Was one of the 7 nannies
it was his godfather, I think.
His childcare? What was it?
It was his godfather who was being...
The former king of Greece.
I read that was William's godfather. So in other words, it was someone close to him.
You would expect him to be there, but
King Constantine.
He may have a perfectly legitimate reason, and if it's health related in the family, you hope it's resolved quickly. I don't know that. I'm just speculating. It must be something important for him not to go. But Andrew, he's a disgraced, shamed royal, paid a small fortune to keep a sex case out of court. Is unwisely the friend of a paedophile in the US.
And failed to properly answer questions.
Yeah, and there he is. They're short of royals, and he takes a lead role. I think that's a very bad look for that family.
I also note that if we have a look at this again, he is sort of grinning and everything. I appreciate he wants to show us that he's okay and he's happy, but at a guy's memorial service?
I know, that's what I thought. I mean, first of all, the fact that he's just there leading the way with this smile like a Cheshire cat is ridiculous. Second of all, you're at a funeral. Like, show some respect. But I've got absolutely no time for him. I hope that they don't think that this is the opportunity to bring him back in any fashion whatsoever. Answer the questions and tell us what you really know.
There's also, we're doing a lot of royal stuff here, but there's all kinds going on. This is very sad and mysterious death here. Front page of the Mail, the sudden death of Lady Gabriella's husband rocks the royal family. And then they have the story about William that we've been discussing. The husband is Thomas. Gabriella is the daughter of Prince and Princess Michael of Kent. Is that correct? Yeah. So there's a very much a royal connection there. We don't know what happened to Thomas, but seemed to be a young man in good health, and died suddenly. So it's I suppose it's that thing you have slightly, and move it away from the tragedy there, of just they are quite thin on the ground, the royals, with Harry gone, with Andrew out of action, Kate incapacitated for now, Charles unwell.
Yeah.
What can they do about all that?
Well, they'll have to unveil fewer plaques to themselves. I mean, that's what they'll have to do. As long as
cynic.
As long as you've got enough for the investitures, the old knighting and handing out the...
Well, occasionally they probably haven't. But So what would you do, Rebecca, if you need an extra royal?
Well, I like the royals. I am a royalist. However, I think that the way that they are operating now with this slimmed-down monarchy is the best way to keep it in this modern world. At the end of the day, who are we going to get? If they start adding in more people, we're going to end up with what, Beatrice and Eugenie? And who
well, you
wants
get
to
Andrew
go and
back.
see
That's
that?
the first. You'll just basically have to work Andrew back into it somehow.
And who wants to turn up to the opening of an envelope to see him? Nobody.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you send them along to a girls' school or somewhere, shall we?
Stop
No
it.
No, but the nature of his the allegations against him means there is no way back. He should have been in the Tower, not smiling like a Cheshire cat, as you say.
But it's all very well. The slimmed-down monarchy everyone wanted, we're suddenly seeing the effect of it. And the answer is you get a memorial service and Prince Andrew leads them out.
The world's not ending, Jeremy.
Well,
it's
but you've been cross about this, right?
Jeremy,
I am cross about it, but just take him out of the picture.
Well, it's not like having a slimmed-down checkout system at a supermarket and you've got longer queues. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Okay.
I mean, it is just a royal family that goes
all right.
along smiling and, expecting people to bow and scrape before them.
It's a very complicated mixture of royal stories today. We'll move on after the break and ask, is stopping small boats the #1 priority for the country? Give us a call with your thoughts. 0207 862 2222. Is it your #1 priority? Do call. Talking about it. Recent polling shows 38% of Brits think immigration is in the top 3 most important issues facing the country. Do you agree, or are you more concerned with things like the NHS or crime? Give us a call, 0207 862 2222. Tell us what you think. So if we look at the small boat crossings over here, obviously they're very visible. And there's a question about whether the government should make them the number one priority. That's essentially our question. Or are they just part of a bigger picture? Because actually, when you are in government, you're dealing with a whole jigsaw, right? This is the 1,000-piece Britain in crisis jigsaw. It literally is 1,000 pieces here. And we could almost pick on any one. We picked on that one, which is the boats. Whoosh it away. What else should we look at? Up here, here's another piece of the jigsaw, and that's the NHS in crisis. And we know how difficult and distressing that is for so many people. What else? The economy going down. There's another one. Because, yes, the Britain in crisis jigsaw has an awful lot of pieces in it. And we could go on and on. We've done the NHS, the economy, crime scenes all over the country. What are they doing about that? Climate change. Look at the way the maps have changed in the decades. Housing are other pieces to the jigsaw. So they're all there. So that's why I say we were asking this question about the small boats. Is it right to say that's the biggest piece? Small boat crossings? What do you think, Rebecca? It's emotional, I guess.
I think it is. I'd probably go with the second highest priority that it needs to be. I think that a lot of things feed into immigration. So sorting out our education system, the NHS, crime and all the rest of it. The country is full. We can't cope. So because we're broken, we need to fix it. Before we can start letting people in from elsewhere, we need to provide for the people that are here. It's nothing to do with race. It's purely about the space of this country and how we're in an absolute mess. So
Brexit was supposed to sort all of this out because I think UKIP put out an advert showing basically almost a brand new empty hospital and someone walking into it seriously ill but smiling because they knew they were going to get treated straight away. Well,
the problem is Brexit got handed over to a party that absolutely didn't care about it. The Conservatives never had any intention
it could have worked and it
of
hasn't.
properly doing Brexit, and it hasn't worked. No opportunities have been taken from it, and we now need to take control. And unfortunately, the person who is least taking control of all is Rishi Sunak.
All right. Do you think that the migrant crossings are the number one priority, Kevin?
Nope. And just on the NHS, 1 in 3 nurses, 1 in 3 doctors in the NHS were born outside the UK. You'll have experienced this with your treatment. The NHS crisis would be if we didn't have migrants working in it or the sons and daughters of migrants. Look, the three big issues you find time after time. 1, the economy. 2, the NHS and public services, what's happening in them, the decline. And 3rd is immigration, migration itself. Now, that covers a lot of things.
Just in my head, I'm just getting that straight. Economy, NHS, and immigration generally.
Yes.
Okay.
3rd,
right.
Because, of course, people can over-focus on the small boats. Yes, it's an issue. Yes, it's a problem. But you're talking about 30,000 people in a year there. And I think the government, the UK Conservative government, likes people to look there because they don't want to see that net migration, the number of people coming in compared to the number of people going out, was a record 750,000 people.
But
that's why they shout
legal,
about Rwanda
right?
and small
legal,
boats.
But if the net migration figure is legal migration and therefore controllable, and maybe the reason the boats look so pressing is it's just flagrant.
Yeah.
It's just an obvious breach of everything.
And more than half of the people who come across on the boats when they get here are found to be able to claim asylum and become refugees.
Well, that might be because their claims are being rushed through.
Yeah, we use the channel as a moat. I'm not saying it isn't a problem. Of course, if you've got any country will want to control its borders, but I think there is a fixation in some people's minds on it, an overemphasis on it. Rwanda was being shouted as the solution. I think most people have woken up now. That was a very expensive
Well, we're
gimmick.
still told it's happening. We're still told. Let's see, Natalie in Buckinghamshire, do you think the small boats is the number one priority?
Hi guys, good morning.
Morning.
No, it's not a priority for me. Like millions of people today, me and my husband have been paid. We both work full time. And we've only got £200 left to feed our family of 5 for the whole month. That's my priority, is feeding my kids and keeping them warm and clothed.
And would we put that under cost of living crisis, Natalie? Is that what it's about?
Yeah, the energy prices, the food, everything, that's my priority at the moment, not that. Yeah,
and, although inflation's cooling down, it doesn't deflate the prices, does it? They stay high. And it means that you're less likely to get a pay rise and so on. So we may be with this for a while. Do you feel a bit stressed about it?
Stressed. I mean, honestly, we have trimmed all the fat. We are down to the basics, and we still are just about keeping our forehead out of water.
Yeah, I hear
We're
you.
up to our eyes.
That is the same for so many people. Thank you so much, Natalie. Thanks for watching as well. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maria in London, what's your number one priority?
My number one priority, immigration is important, and I think that's why Brexit happened. People get upset about the small boats because, like you say, it's flagrant. And I live in an area where there are lots of people sleeping on the street. But I actually have two solutions for the small boat crossings because it is irritating. And the first one is, my partner's is very funny. He said, pay the people that organise them more than they get, and then they'll stop them. That's one.
So buy their dinghies for £1 million each.
Yeah, just say, look, how much do you want, mate, to stop this? We'll pay you double.
Okay, I mean, the problem is you'll get a load of people setting up at the shop in order to be paid off. But anyway, but I hear... Listen, it's worth a try.
It's worth a try. But the second one is a friend of mine went to California in COVID, and she was offered a chip and pin vaccine. And I think if you did chip and pin, the wrong ones would not come, and the right ones wouldn't care. It sounds
You mean
insane.
when you're vaccinated, you have a chip in you, like a microchip?
She went through LA airport, and she was offered a chip and pin vaccine to protect her. If you use the same principle on people on small boats before they come out and then disappear into the wilderness, it was a huge deterrent, wouldn't it? Because they could be monitored.
I don't know if microchipping humans is a little bit too much like The Handmaid's Tale. That's all I'm thinking.
We're talking about deterrence.
Yeah. No. Okay. Do you support that?
I wouldn't quite support that. I understand where it's coming from, and I think that the theory is that if you microchip them, you can keep more control over them.
Well, you show up on Life 360, presumably.
But no, for me, it's quite simple. You turn the boats back. They've come from safe places, and they need to go back there. It's not our problem.
So you get a halfway point in the channel, push them back.
See you later. Send the Navy. Off you go.
Yeah.
What happens when one sinks? Because no, you can't do it. These are small boats, and you capsize them and you drown them, and you'll find Royal Navy seafarers value lives at sea. They would not do it.
You could do it safely, but it's never going to happen as long as we're in ECHR, and that's the first.
But how would you? But just because this gets mentioned a lot. If you tow them, you're in French waters towing a boat to France. I don't know if you can do that. They might open fire. So you push them over the halfway line, and then you leave them.
I actually saw quite, and I'm not saying that this is the solution, but I did see actually a way of doing it with certain types of hoses in the channel. You've got, and at least if you even started that before you got to the border, it is more of a deterrent.
I hear you. I'm not knocking it. I'm just thinking you
might,
if the first child that dies, you're going to have a massive government inquiry. That's the problem. But anyway, listen, we've got to talk about everything here. That's what we do. After the break, we'll take more calls. Is stopping small boats a priority for you, or are other things like the NHS or cost of living we heard from Natalie in Buckinghamshire, are they more important? 0207 862 2222. See you shortly. Rebecca and Kevin are with us this morning. Later we'll be taking your calls on the cost of cigarettes rising to £16 a packet. If you are a smoker who's fuming, we'd love to hear from you. 60, why not put it to 20? What's wrong with that? Now, let's just talk about what your priority is for the government, what the government's priority should be. It's a recent poll by YouGov which asked Brits to rate their 3 or 4 most important issues facing the country. And here are the headlines. The key thing is the colours, OK? So the red one here is the economy, all right? So the economy, and we're going back here to 2011, so more than a decade, the economy just shoots up after, well, the last 2-3 years post-Brexit and so on. It comes up there and it's number 1. And then health very close as number 2. And then the immigration and asylum, which includes small boats, is the purple one, number 3, 38%. And on 19%, actually you've got crime. So crime is quite a low priority, but it's not that people aren't bothered about it, it's that the other ones are so pressing, as we heard from Natalie. On this board over here, we've written down what we think may be the top 4 issues. So we've mentioned immigration or the small boats. And we have here the NHS, the cost of living, climate. In fact, we had Natalie, I don't want to forget Natalie, it was a brilliant call from Natalie earlier, who's really, really struggling. And then Maria was down here talking about immigration as her number one. Kevin, where would you go of these four?
If I put them in order, I'd go cost of living 1, NHS 2, climate 3, immigration 4 on that. But ahead of immigration, I'd chuck in housing, tackling poverty.
OK,
crime
just
itself.
one, Rebecca. Can you think of your top one?
This is too difficult because if you solve immigration, it'll give billions to the cost of living crisis in the NHS, but I'm going to go with cost of living crisis.
OK, that's fine.
That feels
Rebecca there goes there. So a lot of cost of living. And let's talk now to Jean in London. Hi, Jean.
Hello.
I'm sure I've got a board for you here. Where do you want to put your name?
Good morning, panel.
Morning.
I wouldn't say it's top priority, but it's one of the top priorities.
What's that?
One of because you mentioned the mess of the NHS and all the cost of living, all the rest of it. But it's amongst one of the top priorities.
What is,
not the
Jean?
one.
What is?
Immigration.
Okay, I'll put that there because that's the first one you mentioned, but I appreciate they're all tangled up with each other, you think?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jean. Bless you. Adrian in Gwynedd, hello.
Hello.
Cost of living, NHS, climate, immigration, or you could say another if you want to say crime or something.
Well, I'd say cost of living. I agree with the panel that, boats are a problem, that we're a small island, but everyone else comes in from outside that helps us. I always think the government should be prioritising wasting money. HS2, how much money was wasted on that? How much money can you take back from that and put back into the system?
Don't, because I'm not sitting down. I'll get I'll get a rush of blood to the head. They will claim that by cancelling it, they save money. Yeah. I know, it's like, I've decided not to buy a yacht, so I've got an extra £1 million. That's literally the logic of it, right?
I've got half a yacht, but I can't really use it. But there we are, I've saved a fortune.
No, don't start us on HS2, Adrian. It's bad for our health. Maria in Dorset, hi.
Hi.
I'm giving you 4, cost of living, NHS, climate, immigration. No one's mentioned the fact the world's coming to an end.
Well, to be fair, I'm a migrant myself. My husband is English, and I came here, and I'm a migrant. But as I said, I always said this: when you have a flat and everything is kind of working, but you have your own problems, but you have 2-bedroom flat, right? Are you going to invite 20 more people to live in a flat when you know that the bathroom is going to collapse, the kitchen is going to collapse, it's not going to be enough rooms? For me, what you have to do is, of course, migration is something healthy. We have a very old population. We need new people. I understand all that. But at the same time, you mentioned a 1,000-piece puzzle there that needs a lot of things. If you add something like migration, which bringing more people in here, when you already have a high cost of living, NHS that is crumbling, climate, crime, education, if you put all that together with more people on the puzzle, it's going to collapse way faster than you think. So for me, the first thing is migration.
Okay, because it's interesting because both Marias have gone migration. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, and then you go cost of living.
Yeah, and another thing that the other Maria said, I don't agree with microchip people because that's a little extreme. But I think this country, with the amount of people that you're getting, will need some kind of ID. Some kind of ID with your fingerprints, like a lot of country has. With your fingerprints.
Okay,
well, you on the street, and you have a fingerprint, and they can tell you on the system if you are living here, not living here, if you have any kind of background or anything.
Understood. No, all right. Well, maybe we are heading that way. Would you be? You'd want that, would you, Rebecca? I thought you'd be into freedom and stuff.
I thought that was absolutely brilliant, and you, Kevin, can eat that because that's exactly the point that I was
compulsory
making.
finger.
You are.
You are. You're popping out to go to the shops, and somebody stops you with a monitor and says, "I'm just testing you."
She's talking about the fact that the migrant wants less migration. That's what you're saying.
Yes, absolutely. But also, on that point about ID, we are the only country within Europe to not scan retinas, take fingerprints, properly digitally identify who these people are that are coming into our country.
I wouldn't object to that going in and out. You get a passport check, don't you? And that's logged.
Let's take some more calls. Elaine in South Yorkshire. Where's your priority, Elaine?
Immigration.
Right. Oh, right. Okay. So you're upset by the small boats every day.
I am infuriated. I can't watch the news. It gets me so angry.
Well, I think it was 70,000 or something last year, was it, or whatever, and I can see why you're cross about it. Well, what about, here's this idea, Elaine, right? We're looking on the bright side here. Somebody's going to step off a small boat and they're going to have a child who goes to university and becomes the British Bill Gates.
Yep.
What about that? And then we say, thank God they arrived here and they didn't go somewhere else.
But don't you think we've enough immigrants here at the moment where that could happen? I think we've got to look at the situation as it is now. I live in Sheffield, and it is a highly immigrant city, along with Bradford and Leeds, and I think a lot of the people in the south of the country don't realise just how much immigration's infected our lives up here, with the hospital waits, etc. And I think to deal with the immigration problem, you are going to help the NHS, you're going to help the economy. It just goes hand in hand, but it has to stop. If I had my way, there would be coaches waiting to collect these people and send them to Rwanda to claim to be legally accepted.
All right, they've tried. I mean, obviously, it's interesting you say that because that's the one they've tried, and you can't drive there, but they can't get a plane off the ground. Thanks, Elaine, very much. Malcolm in Kent, do you agree with Elaine?
No, it's a load of old rubbish. It's the Tories putting out the usual smoke screen about what's really wrong.
What is really wrong then?
Well, there's too many thieves, backhanders. I'm asking questions on behalf of someone else and all the rest of it.
Oh, you're talking about politicians.
Yeah, that's right. Especially the lot that make the rules.
I'm going to write politics there needs sorting out. Is that all right? Is that broad enough?
That's about right.
Well, this guy Scott Benton is
immigration out.
Yeah, they had to suspend this South Blackpool MP Scott Benton for.
That's just the latest. There's some who haven't been caught yet.
Well,
I've got an MP who takes 50 grand a year off a Scandinavian railway company for doing nothing.
Well, look, don't say which constituency you're in, because then we'll have to blooming find out all the details. But thank you. Well, yeah. Thanks, Malcolm in Kent. Somewhere in Kent, we're not sure where.
It's a big county. You'll be all right.
He's got a lot of MPs in Kent, aren't there, everyone? Thanks for all your calls on this. My goodness, it's not scientific, but no one mentioned, burning up.
No.
So, okay, later, yes. Well, you're happy with that, Rebecca. Is it okay later to let yourself go in marriage? That's one from Kevin and me, because it's about the blokes, this.